Chapter 3. Wendy's Story.
Kelly is not a nice man, and I've never liked him. I've worked for him for a year now. My father got the job for me. He told me to work hard and not to ask questions. Kelly often gets angry, and when he's angry, he shouts at everyone and his face goes very red. I'm afraid of him, but I don't want to lose my job. I need the money, and it's not easy to find another job. Richard started work at Kelly's about a month ago. We're good friends, but we don't talk much about our jobs. Nobody at Kelly's talks about the work. We don't really know what his business is. He has 2 garages in the town, and he buys and sells old cars. But he also buys and sells a lot of other things too. Furniture, old pictures, jewellery. I think that some of these things are stolen, but I don't ask questions. 10 days ago, Kelly called me into his office. I stood there and waited. He began to say something to me, but he stopped and looked down at his papers. Then he took out his diary and opened it.
Wendy, what are you doing next weekend?
I'm not sure, Mr. Kelly.
How would you like to go on a little business trip? I'll pay you for it, of course.
This surprised me, and I did not reply immediately. Then I said, "A business trip, Mr. Kelly?"
Yes, to Germany. Just for the day. It isn't a difficult job, but it's important. What do you say?
I did not know much about Mr. Kelly's business, but I did know that there was something strange about these journeys to other countries. They happened every 2 or 3 months, and after them there were secret meetings in the office, often late in the evening. I decided that I did not want to go. But I've never been to Germany. Don't you think... Well, perhaps you can ask one of the others.
I'm asking you, Wendy. I said that it was important, and I want you to do it.
I began to say something, but he was still speaking.
I have friends in Frankfurt, and they want to send me some things. They'll give you 3 small boxes, like egg boxes, and you'll bring them back here. There's nothing difficult about that, is there?
I didn't say anything.
Are you listening to me, Wendy?
He asked.
I need you to do this job for me.
His voice was getting louder now. I looked him in the face. I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. I've just remembered. I'm busy next weekend. I can't do it. He jumped up and his chair fell back.
Now, just you listen to me, young woman. You work for me, remember that? I'm the person who pays you.
He caught my arm and shook me.
This time, I'm telling you, not asking you. You'll go to Frankfurt or there'll be trouble. You will leave on the first plane on Saturday morning and come back the same evening, with the 3 boxes. And don't say a word to anyone. Do you understand?
Then he walked out. I didn't sleep much that night, or the next. I wanted to tell Richard, but he was out of town on another of Kelly's jobs. What could I do? I was afraid, and Kelly knew that I was afraid. He did not speak about it again, but on Friday he called me into his office and gave me my plane ticket and some money. There was no escape. Saturday morning came, and I went to the airport. While I was waiting there, I heard my name. I knew that voice immediately. I turned round. "Richard!" I cried. "Oh, Richard, I'm so pleased to see you. But what are you doing here?"
I'm coming with you, to Frankfurt. Kelly told me to. Look, here's my ticket.
"You mean—" Wait a minute. What did Kelly tell you? Richard was smiling.
He told me to come with you, that's all. To stay with you. You know, on the plane. And in Frankfurt.
I began to understand. He told you to watch me, you mean? When we were on the plane, Richard asked me about my work at Kelly's. He knew very little about Kelly's business, and he knew very little about our trip to Frankfurt. I told him about the egg boxes and why I was afraid. "The boxes are small," Kelly said, "so I think it's jewellery," I told Richard. "And I think it's stolen jewellery." Then Richard got very angry and said,
Kelly can't send you on a job like this. Why doesn't he go himself?
"But that's it, Richard. It's easier for a girl. Kelly knows that. He's clever, you know. But he thinks I'm afraid, so he sent you to watch me." For a time, Richard just sat there and thought. After a while, he turned to me.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to carry stolen jewellery for that man. Leave it to me. I'll think of something, of some plan.
Then he was silent again. When we arrived in Frankfurt, we went to a hotel for breakfast. Then Richard went off to buy a newspaper, and after that we sat around for about half an hour. We had to meet Kelly's friends outside the hotel. When we walked out of the door, 2 men were waiting for us in a white Mercedes. We drove through the busy streets of the city and then into the country. Some time later, we stopped at an old house with trees all around it. We all went inside, and the men took us into a dark room at the back and left us there. It was cold, and Richard gave me his coat. He was smiling quietly to himself. We waited there in silence. In another room, people were talking. We could hear their voices. Then the driver of the Mercedes came and took us upstairs. A short man in a dark green shirt was sitting at a desk. In front of him, on the desk, were 3 boxes. He was playing with a pen and watching us carefully. Richard spoke to him in German. I did not understand, but I heard Kelly's name, and the man in the green shirt began to say something. All at once, there were noises outside, the sound of cars and voices and people running. The man jumped up from his desk and pulled a gun out of his pocket. He tried to get to the window, but at that minute the door opened and 3 or 4 policemen ran in and jumped on him. There was a fight, but the police got his gun from him and held him on the floor. An older man arrived, a police inspector with grey hair, and began to give orders to the policemen. He called across the room to Richard and me in very good English.
"Are you all right? They didn't hurt you, did they?"
He gave some more orders, and then he came across to Richard and held out his hand.
"Well done, young man. I must thank you for your help."
He turned to me.
"And thank you, too. You've done very well, both of you. It's been a good day's work for all of us."
I looked at Richard, and he gave me a little smile. "What does he mean?" I asked, but Richard did not answer. The inspector then explained to me.
"Your friend phoned us this morning from your hotel. After that, it was easy. We just waited near the hotel for the white Mercedes and then followed it here."
The inspector took us back into Frankfurt in his car, and when we arrived there, we went at once to his office. He ordered coffee for us, and while we were waiting for it, he said,
"You've helped us a lot already, but we need your help with one more thing. There's still Mr. Kelly and his friends. We have a plan for them."
Oh yes, he knew all about Joe Kelly. He brought out the 3 boxes and put them on the table in front of us. Then he said,
"We would like you to take these back to England with you."
Richard and I looked at him in surprise. The inspector waited for a minute and then went on.
"You don't need to be afraid. Perhaps you're thinking about the British police, is that it? Everything will be all right. I will speak to Chief Superintendent Edwards in London, and there'll be no trouble for you. Now, listen carefully."
He went on.
"Just give the jewelry to Kelly. He won't know about the accident to his German friends, and you must not tell anybody about it, or about our conversation today. That's very important. The British police will watch Kelly and wait. Do you understand?"
This plan sounded dangerous to me, but Richard said, "Yes, of course we'll do it, won't we, Wendy?" Richard is not afraid of Kelly, you see. So we brought the boxes back with us on the Saturday evening plane from Frankfurt. We did not get back until nearly midnight, but we took the boxes at once to Kelly's house. He told us to wait, and then went into another room. When he came back, he was very happy. He put his hand in his pocket and took out some gold earrings.
"These are for you, Wendy, for your birthday next Thursday."
"No, Mr. Kelly, no, you mustn't. I can't take them, really I can't."
"Of course you can,"
Kelly laughed.
"You've worked hard for them, and we must have a party for you. Let's get some people together on Thursday night. Where would you like to go? To the Ritz? Or perhaps a disco?"
"No, I know." And he began to sing,
"Let's all meet at Maxim's. We'll have a wonderful time."
I told him 3 times that I didn't want a party, but he didn't want to listen. He was too pleased with himself.
"Oh, yes, Wendy. We must have a party, and you must wear the earrings. Then I'll know you're my good little girl."
His mouth was smiling, but his eyes were cold. Richard said quietly in my ear, "Just agree with him, Wendy, and take his earrings."
You can give them back later. We don't want anything to go wrong now."
The next few days passed very slowly. On Monday and Tuesday, everything was quiet in the office. Kelly did not speak to me again about the visit to Frankfurt. He stayed in his office most of the time and was always on the telephone. No police came to the office, and nothing happened. I began to feel afraid. Early on Wednesday morning, Richard called in to see me.
"Is he in yet?"
He asked. He looked at Kelly's door. "Not yet. Why?"
"I want the keys to his office, just for a minute."
"But Richard—"
"Come on, Wendy. He'll never know."
"You can't go in there, Richard. He'll be here in a minute. It's too dangerous."
"Please, Wendy. It won't take long. I'll be out again immediately."
"But why? What do you want?"
"Don't ask questions. Just give me the keys. Quickly."
Of course, in the end, I gave him the keys. He opened Kelly's door and went inside. Some minutes passed, and then he gave a shout.
"I think I've got something."
I went in and saw that Richard was standing in front of Kelly's desk with a letter in his hand. He held it up for me.
"This,"
he said,
"is going to help us."
"What do you mean?" I did not understand.
"Listen."
He read from the letter. "The eggs arrived last weekend and they are now in my house. Be there on the 18th of April, 11 a.m. "The 18th, I said. "That's next Saturday." Just then, I heard a car outside. "That's him," I cried. "Quick, put that letter back. You must get out of here at once." I ran through to my office with Richard behind me. "Out there, quick!" I pushed him into the kitchen, and at the same time the door opened and Kelly walked in.
"Good morning, Wendy."
He did not stop, but went into his office and closed the door behind him. Richard then quickly left the office, and I did not see him again that day. He phoned me the next afternoon, which was Thursday. I knew at once that he was unhappy about something. "What's happened, Richard?" I asked.
"I'm not working for Kelly anymore,"
he told me.
"This morning, Kelly told me to do another of his little jobs for him, and I said no. So he started shouting at me, and then he told me to go. So that's it. I'm looking for another job."
He gave a little laugh.
"And worse than that, he hasn't paid me, and now I can't buy you a birthday present."
"Oh, Richard, that's not important," I said. "But are you coming to Kelly's party for me at Maxim's tonight? I won't go without you. You must come."
"I can't, Wendy. I'd like to be there, you know that. But we mustn't meet until after Saturday."
"Why not? What's happening on Saturday? And what's happening about the egg boxes? What are the police doing? Kelly says I must wear my new gold earrings at the party, but I don't want to. They came from Frankfurt in one of those egg boxes, and they're stolen. Oh, Richard, I'm afraid. What am I going to do?"
"Everything's going to be all right, Wendy. Really. I've got a plan.
Just go to the party and don't worry. I'll see you soon. Richard put the phone down, and I have not seen or heard from him since then.
Chapter 4. Another birthday present. Jennifer felt very sorry for Wendy. The girl's hands were shaking, and she was trying not to cry. Jennifer went and sat next to her, and put her arm round her. So what happened after the party on Thursday night, when the police took you away? She asked quietly. Oh, it was terrible, Wendy said. They took the earrings from me, of course, and they asked a lot of questions. I told them that the earrings were a present from Kelly, and I told them all about the police in Germany. But they didn't believe me. They told me to go to the office on Friday and not to say anything to anybody. And they wanted to talk to Richard. Wendy turned to Jennifer. What am I going to do? She asked. Why didn't the police believe me? Haven't the German police talked to them? And where's Richard? I can't find him. She began to cry quietly. Jennifer stood up. We must phone the police in Germany, she said. I'll talk to that policeman, Barrett, who came to see me last night, and... Just then there was a knock on the door. Jennifer went to the door and called out, Who is it? It's me, Richard, came Richard's excited voice. Jennifer opened the door quickly. Beside Richard, there were two policemen, Barrett and another taller man. Everything's okay, Richard said happily. He turned to the two policemen and smiled. And you're not going to lock me up, are you? I'm very pleased to hear that, said Jennifer. But what's going on? Can somebody please explain? They all went into the sitting room, and Wendy jumped up. She looked at the policeman, and her face went white. Everybody began talking at once, and Richard put his arms round Wendy. The tall policeman laughed and turned to Jennifer. My name is Edwards, he said. I'm sorry about Barrett's visit to you last night, but we didn't know about Richard and Wendy then. I talked to the Frankfurt police an hour ago. We already knew about the stolen jewellery in Germany, of course, and we were watching Kelly. But they didn't tell us that they caught the German thieves last weekend, or about their little plan with Richard and Wendy. They wanted to keep it very secret. They were afraid that Kelly would hear about it. But we know now, and everything's all right. But what about Kelly? Cried Wendy. And the egg boxes? Barrett smiled. You'll have to find a new boss. Kelly is going to be in prison for a long time. We got him this morning. But it's Richard's story. He's been very helpful to us. He can tell you all about it. The two policemen left, and Jennifer turned to her young brother. He was sitting with his arm round Wendy, and her face was now bright and happy. Well, Jennifer said, start talking, Richard. I've told Jennifer all about last week, Wendy explained. and she was in Maxim's on Thursday night. But what happened this morning?" Richard laughed. "When I looked in Kelly's office last Wednesday, I found that letter about the eggs. You remember, Wendy? Well, the German policeman told us to do nothing, but I wanted the British police to catch Kelly. Perhaps they were watching Kelly carefully, but I wanted to be sure. So, early this morning, I went to the police station and told them about the letter. They were not very friendly, and they kept me in the police station. But they went to Kelly's house at 11 o'clock. They found Kelly there, and 2 other men who were buying the stolen jewellery from Kelly. So they brought Kelly and the 2 other men into the police station, and the egg boxes, of course. Kelly was very angry and told the police that Wendy and I were the thieves. I told Barrett and Edwards about the German policeman's plan again and again, and in the end they telephoned Germany and talked to the inspector in Frankfurt. He explained everything. So here we are." Richard laughed again, happily. He put his hands in his pockets. "And here's £20 for my big sister, and a little birthday present for my favourite girl." Jennifer looked at him. She suddenly felt very happy about her brother. "You can keep the money," she said. "It's not important." "But I only gave it to you on Thursday night," she said. "How—" "I've got a new job," said Richard. "Started yesterday, and this time I'm not working for a jewellery thief." Wendy opened her present and laughed for the first time that day. "Oh, look," she said. "It's some gold earrings. They're lovely." Richard laughed too. "They're only small earrings, Wendy, but I can tell you this. They did not come from Frankfurt in an egg box."